that? Oh gosh, I'm scared. Welcome back to another ridiculous true story animation, which, come on, I'm not believing that these are true anymore. They're all lies. Well, today we have this story called I Am Allergic to Cold, and the thumbnail, it drew me in. It got me. You know how the woman has the cold? Yeah, it really got me. It drew in my interest. We have to watch this. Isn't everybody allergic to the cold? Because when I'm out in the cold, oh my goodness, I just want to get back inside. Hate it. Headset on. Tell me how you're allergic to the cold.
Hello, I'm Karen.
Oh gosh, we have a Karen on our hands. This girl better not be complaining. Got enough Karens in the world for that.
And today I'll share with you how my disease complicated my life and got me in trouble. Sierra and I have been best friends since kindergarten. We used to do everything together. And by everything, I literally mean everything.
What was that? What did I just witness? My eyes. My eyes.
She was also the only one who knew about my cold allergy. At the age of 5, I was diagnosed with a rare disease called cold urticaria, which means that I get a severe skin rash whenever I get exposed to cold.
Let's give this a little old read, see if my story animated knows what they're talking about. Essentially meaning cold hives is a disorder where hives or large red welts form on the skin after exposing to a cold stimulus. The welts are usually itchy, and often hands and feet will become itchy and swollen as well. Ew, okay. A person who is inexperienced in a particular sphere or activity, especially computing or the use of the internet. Why is that on there? That doesn't make any sense. All right, okay, moving on.
That meant I had to stay warm all the time. I couldn't enjoy eating ice cream or drinking ice smoothies.
Why is this me though? Most of my friends know me for being the one person who's always wearing a coat inside. I'm not wearing one today, but I am stood next to a heater and I have the radiator on. I'm always cold.
And in winter, I had to wear multiple layers. I always looked like a giant bear with my super huge raincoats. I also couldn't enjoy playing in the snow, and Sierra would always come to my house and spend time with me inside. She was the best. However, that all changed when we got to high school. Sierra came from a rich family. Her dad owns a chain of fast food restaurants across the country. My parents, on the other hand, were both teachers.
I would love if my family owned a chain of fast food restaurants, but that would be so bad for me. I would eat there every day and I probably have a lot of health issues. So maybe it's for the best that that isn't true.
They barely made it from month to month. When students knew that she was rich, they all wanted to become friends with her. Guys wanted to invite her to their activities and boys wanted to date her, but they always invited her alone. No one wanted me to join. One time, Alice, one of the most popular girls, approached us while we were having lunch and invited Sierra to her birthday party. And then she added, "The invitation is for you only. It's an exclusive party, you know." I knew that she wanted to get under my skin with that comment, but I couldn't care less.
Wow, that's really mean. If you're gonna invite someone to something, don't do it in front of someone who isn't invited because they'll get upset. They want an invitation too. I feel for you, girl. I feel for you.
I told Sierra to go. I didn't like Alice anyway. After that, Sierra started getting tons of invitations and we stopped seeing each other as much. Then something unexpected happened during chemistry class. The teacher assigned all the students to work in pairs. I had to work with Hudson, the hottest boy at school. He was the captain of the football team.
What was that? Is he flying through the air? He looks like he's flying. That kind of scary though.
Hudson and I started working on the project together, but soon enough, he confessed his feelings for me, and we started dating.
Good for you, girl. Go get yourself a man's. A hot man's too. He'll keep you warm.
Hudson was the cutest. He cared for me so much that he came to drive me to school every day. For the first time in my life, I felt like a princess. But somehow, Sierra didn't like that.
Sierra jealous. Oh gosh, there's nothing worse than a jealous friend. Trust me, I've had plenty.
When she saw me walking hand in hand with Hudson, she was surprised. She came rushing and asked, "Are you two a couple?" I answered happily, "Yes, I haven't had the chance to tell you because you seem always busy lately. How about we all go for dinner together?" Sierra added with a strange look, Sure, I'd love to get to know my best friend's BF.
Oh, she's mad. I don't know why though. Shouldn't she be happy for her? But no, she's really mad. Maybe she had a crush on her, and that's why.
I smiled, and we agreed to meet at this fast food restaurant. But the moment we walked in, Sierra had a disgusted look on her face and said, "I can't eat here. Let's go to another restaurant. I'll pay."
Does her dad own that restaurant? Is that why? Because that makes sense if she doesn't want to eat there. Maybe she's sick of the food.
I didn't like it, but I said nothing because Hudson didn't seem to mind. But things like this kept happening. Whenever the three of us were hanging out, Sierra would pick the most expensive place of all and pay for us all. Hudson liked it, but I was embarrassed and hurt by her way of showing off her money.
Girl, I wouldn't be embarrassed and hurt. I would be so honored and happy that my friend was paying for food in the first place. Why is she embarrassed? These stories make no sense.
So I stopped inviting her to hang out with us. But then her birthday came and she wanted to do something extravagant. She booked an exclusive ski trip, hotel, and plane tickets and invited her closest friends, including Hudson and I, for free.
That is so awesome. She's paid for her to go on a ski holiday. Who wouldn't be happy about that? I would love that. Do any of my friends want to pay for me to go skiing?
When Sierra handed me the invitation, she said, "Oh, Karen, sorry if you can't make it." I had a feeling that she did that on purpose, so I responded, "Oh, don't worry, I'm coming." My parents freaked out when they heard I was going on the trip. Being in cold weather would definitely increase my rash and all my body would be swollen.
Oh
But
no.
I didn't care. I didn't want to leave Hudson and Sierra alone for 4 days. So I packed up my things and went. And I wish I didn't. I spent all my time in the hotel. I couldn't go outside. Hudson asked me multiple times, "Come with us, I'll teach you how to ski." But I had to lie and say, "I don't like skiing, I prefer reading. Go have fun, and I'll wait for you here." Hudson and Sierra stayed together all the time. I saw their stories on Instagram and Snapchat, and I felt my blood boil.
That is pretty awkward. I do feel like Sierra did this so she could spend time with her best friend's boyfriend. I don't know why she's doing that, but that's not what a best friend should be doing.
On the last day of the trip, however, while I was having coffee in the hotel's lobby, I saw Sierra and Hudson kiss outside in the snow.
Oh my gosh, he's cheating on her? Oh dear. This was Sierra's plan all along. That girl be evil though.
I couldn't believe my eyes, but I wasn't imagining things. They were really kissing.
Yeah, they are really kissing. Those lips are terrifying. What is going on? Also, why are they wearing elf hats? They're literally wearing elf hats.
I couldn't contain myself. I just gave up, ignoring all the alarms going through my head. I screamed at them, "What the hell is this?" Hudson was startled, but Sierra had a twisted smile on her face, and she said, "You don't deserve him. You can't even join his activity. You're also a freak."
What happened to Sierra's face at the end there? Sierra, what happened? What is that? Oh gosh, I'm scared.
She grabbed some snow with her hands and she threw it on my face. I was shocked to hear Sierra say such awful things. It took seconds for the rash to pop and then cover all over my body.
Okay, so at the start of this, I really didn't believe that people could be allergic to the cold. Apparently they can, and this happens. This is horrible. I feel so bad for her right now. Not only has she been cheated on, she's also been attacked.
I was swollen and then I passed out. I woke up in the hospital feeling dizzy. I saw my parents sitting beside my bed. They looked worried. They told me that my body went into shock. It needed 3 days to recover. I went back to school hoping that Sierra would apologize to me, but instead, I found that she spread rumors about me saying that I was a gold digger and I was her best friend because she used to give me expensive gifts.
First of all, shouldn't she be getting done for basically attempted murder? Second of all, who are these men? These guys are like 40 years old. Why are they in high school? What is going on?
I don't know what she told Hudson, but he too believed the lies she told. He only sent a message saying, "We are no longer together." I was enraged. I needed to take revenge. I knew that Sierra took pride in her long blonde hair. She took really good care of it. So while she was in sports class, I replaced her shampoo with a similar bottle that had hair removal cream.
Oh no, this is really bad. Girl, don't do it. Don't do it. Two wrongs don't make a right. It makes a double wrong. And there's nothing worse than a double wrong.
When she took a shower later and got out, she was half bald.
Oh,
I heard her
no.
loud scream coming from the girls' bathroom. She was hysterical and came straight to me and threatened me. "You'll pay for this." I was so happy seeing her go ballistic. All the other students just laughed at her crazy.
What is with the weird mix of art styles in this story? Every so often there is a terrifying character like that set in the background, and I don't know how to process it.
But unfortunately, I couldn't stay and enjoy that view. The principal called me to his office and I was expelled.
Okay, you deserve to be expelled. You shouldn't have done that. Also, Mr. Principal, what a beautiful mustache. Gotta say, that is striking.
But I couldn't care less. I told my parents that I didn't want to live there anymore, and we decided to move to Florida because it was warm all year round. I moved to a new school and I kept a low radar. I didn't make any real friends and I kept the secret to myself. But Sierra's rumor stuck with me. I wasn't a gold digger, and to prove her wrong, I focused on my studies and graduated. And then I studied finance and business administration in college. I was working extremely hard, and I started my own company at 23 years old. It was not long until I became one of the youngest successful women in the country.
You go, girl. Yeah, that's right. You show her. You're a hard-working girl. You can do what you want. You're not a gold digger. Prove her wrong.
But I always had to be careful. I managed my work from home because I hated air conditioners. My employees always wanted to have a meeting with me, but I couldn't. Most of the time I had online business meetings, and if I had to go, I would wear clothes that looked ridiculous in summer, and even in the winter.
I don't know if these clothes just look ridiculous in the summer, or if they always just look ridiculous, because I have never seen an outfit like those in my life. Surely you could have chose something better than that. What is that?
I became rich, and I was able to help my parents quit their jobs and retire. But I was lonely. I didn't have the courage to date other men because of what happened with Hudson. But then I met Zayn. We met at a business conference for young entrepreneurs. The conference was in Hawaii, which was perfect for me. I went to the beach every afternoon and sunbathed without getting into the water. So one afternoon, Zayn approached me and asked, "Are you afraid of the water?" I looked at him suspiciously and asked with a cautious tone, "What do you mean?" But he simply said, "I've been watching you for a couple of days and you never seem to go in."
That's pretty creepy. If a guy came up to me and said that, I'd be like, "Oh, you've been watching me. That's strange."
The water is lovely, you know. I immediately took a deep breath. His comment was innocent, and for the first time in my life, I felt like sharing. So I said, "I can't. If I go in there, I might die." Zayn was shocked.
These faces are killing me. They don't usually put this many weird faces in. Why are they so funny?
And interested in hearing the whole story. So I told him. He was so compassionate towards me. We ended up talking all afternoon and then spending all of our time together. We started dating for a while and then we got married.
Wow, that happened fast.
I was so happy with the way things turned out. I thought I finally had my happy ending. I was rich, I had everything I needed, and I had a loving husband who really cared for me. But then I woke up one night to drink some water, and I noticed that Zayn wasn't next to me. And before I got to the kitchen, I heard his voice coming from his office. "It's not the right time yet. She's totally in love with me, but I need more time until she trusts me with her money." I felt like an elephant sat on my chest. Was Zayn planning something behind my back?
Wait a second. Is Zayn a gold digger? The exact same thing you got accused of being? Oh, girl, you better be careful. You're trying to steal your money.
I heard his footsteps, so I rushed back to my bed and pretended to be asleep. But my heart was pounding. The next day, I acted like everything was okay. We had breakfast like usual, and I even kissed him goodbye.
Burgers for breakfast? And that's their usual? Maybe I should have burgers for breakfast. That sounds like a good idea. I need to try that.
But as soon as he left the house, I called a private detective and asked him to investigate Zayn. And what I found was shocking.
How is this story getting more wild? Seriously, I thought it was already crazy. It's getting worse. This poor girl, she's going through a lot.
Zayn was Sierra's personal assistant. She was in the conference in Hawaii and saw me there. And when she knew that I became richer than her, she teamed up with Zayn so they could rob me, or at least get half of my fortune when we got a divorce.
Sierra is crazy. As if she's still on her back after all of these years.
I couldn't believe that Sierra still held a grudge after all these years. I also felt sick to my stomach. The only man that I invited to my life wanted to hurt me. I was so in love with him that for a second I thought that I could convince him to forget about Sierra and to stay with me, but I was smarter than that. So I took all the evidence that the detective collected and I hired a lawyer. I had to divorce him. Zayn was shocked when he saw the divorce papers. He couldn't get a penny from me because I threatened him that if he asked for money, I would send all the evidence to the police and he would be in jail.
You go, girl. Yes, she's clever. I appreciate that.
As for Sierra, I threatened her with the same thing. I told her that if she ever tried to mess with me again, I would ruin her life. Sierra was terrified by the idea of jail, and she paid me $2 million to keep my mouth shut.
Okay, these people be rich. Being able to pay someone $2 million? Hello?
I sold the house Zayn and I used to live in, and I went to live with my parents so I could raise my child in peace.
Wait, she has a child now? When did that happen? They just like skimmed over that part. They forgot to mention they had a baby together? What?
Yes, I found out after the divorce that I was pregnant with a baby girl. I called her Amy. I was thrilled when I had her. Amy was so beautiful. She had Zayn's eyes and chin, but unfortunately, she had my disease. We found that out when she turned 7 years old. I cried my eyes out that day. She was playing with her friends outside. One of them opened the plastic water pipe and aimed it at her. The water was cold, and she soon developed a rash. Her friends started screaming when they saw her. I rushed outside and I held her in my arms and took her to the hospital. A nice doctor treated her. I explained to him her condition and he calmed me down. He told me to get out of the room so he could treat her. Luckily, 2 hours later, the doctor got out and assured me that Amy had made it. She needed to stay a few more days in the hospital. I let out a sigh of relief and I thanked the doctor who couldn't take his eyes off me. The following days, he came by every day to say hi.
Oh, hello. Is this doctor about to be her new boyfriend? Look how he's creeping. I think he is. I think he likes her.
And on our last day in the hospital, he came over to me and said, I kind of need to see Amy more. Can I visit her? Or would you prefer telling me more about her over a date? I felt butterflies in my stomach. It had been 7 years since I went out with any man, so I said yes.
Aww.
2 days later, I took Amy and went to meet the doctor in the park. We decided that it would be more fun if the first date was a fun one. Amy also needed to breathe fresh air. But while we were playing with her on the sand, I noticed that someone was watching me from afar. I looked closely, and it was Zayn. He was looking back and forth between Amy and me. I knew that he figured out that Amy was his. You see, I never told him that I was pregnant.
Oh.
I grabbed Amy's hands abruptly and apologized to the doctor, who looked confused with my strange behavior. I went home and I immediately booked 2 flight tickets to California. I will never let him take my child. Never.
Wait, so what happened to the doctor? He just got left? That poor guy. She up and left. She's gone now to California. The poor doctor thought he had a chance, but nope. Sorry, bye. I'm moving again. Okay, well, that story was officially insane. If you guys did enjoy it and you would like to watch another video, click here and let's go watch it together.